Hi, everybody. We are here again at Home Care Business Advisors and our Facebook Live segment. Today, I'm just so happy and elated that I've got two very dear friends of mine presenting to us today. Carol Katz and Dina Fraworth, mother and daughter of Adult Care Advisors. And Adult Care Advisors are senior living advisor on options for families about placement, whether it be in home care, whether it be for long-term care setting, CCRCs, group homes, you name it. These guys are the gurus of placement and senior options. So I'm excited to have you guys here. Hello and welcome.
Thanks so much for having us here, Yvette, and everyone out there.
Thank you so very much. So just to give you a little bit of an introduction, today we got our members here with us are all relatively new owners. And, my goal is to continually provide for them resources and education about how vast this healthcare world is. Having senior options is one of them. And engaging for them and engaging with and creating relationships with Dinas and Carols of this world is potentially those referral sources going to come into their home care business. So let's start by saying this, Dina. Share with everybody, what is Senior Living Advisors and what is it that you actually do?
Sure. Great question, Yvette, and all of you out there. First of all, congratulations on your new business. I'm sure it is, changing your world. So what we do every day, and we help families navigate the senior care arena. So whether they want to age in place at home and bring in wonderful businesses like yours for the home care support, we help them meet those goals. And then should they need to find other solutions to transition to some of the wonderful options that Yvette mentioned, senior group homes, residential living, assisted living, we help them find those options that can meet their needs for now and down the road.
So what is the need? We know there's a need, and the consumer become very savvy, and obviously everything's internet and internet based and so forth and what have you, and of course for you guys doing this since 2008 2009, there's most definitely that need. What are you seeing, and what are those families coming to you and they're saying about their home care options? And for this is to express to our owners here of how do I prepare to receive those kinds of clients? What are they saying? Carol, maybe I can present that to you.
Okay. Well, basically, our families, we always try to tell our families, if possible, to start out with home care. It's a great Band-Aid. It gets the senior used to having help, having somebody there to lean on. The problem, what we benefit the families is we know the care levels that different assisted livings can handle, and we know what they should be looking for. So basically what we're here for is to hold the family's hand, educate them, guide them, and help them through the transition.
And they truly rely on you as that conduit for their care.
They do. You know what? There's so many options out there. If they have somebody to hold a hand and discuss their thoughts, their fears, what's the future going to be like for a parent or loved one, then they lean on us and they trust us, and we're here to support them, to give them the right questions to ask when they're reaching out and visiting the community.
Right. So tell me, Dina, tell me what a typical process is for you from receiving that call. How do you take that call and how do you, peg it into a CCRC that is down there, et cetera, or in this county versus that county? What do you do with that call when you first receive it? How do you break that down?
Absolutely. That's a great question. A lot of times families need a multifaceted plan. So it's not just a one size fits all, as all of us, especially nowadays with COVID, not, the child or, the loved one may think, okay, my mom wants to go, or I want my mom to go, but do they really want to go? So sometimes, we'll present home care for the short term or maybe the long term, because you can
Right.
with your, just because someone needs care doesn't mean they may want to go to the assisted living. So it's really the questions that you ask and collaborating with all you folks out there for us to let you know, hey, let's try home care. Maybe, we can jump on a call or get you guys in there to start. And then maybe if that caregiver works out, yes, a continuing care would be great, because then they can go into the independent section with that same caregiver.
Absolutely.
So you don't just need, everything is just a changing landscape, as you guys all know. So not one size fits all. The plans nowadays are so different. And so we're really giving everybody multiple options where, back in the day, everybody was like, oh, my mom needs a nursing home. No, they don't.
You don't need to do that anymore.
Exactly.
Right. Absolutely. And it's very important for me to really stress to our owners, how the relationship with, an adult, a senior living advisor such as yourself can be beneficial to them. Because again, you're looking at the whole care, not just, okay, well, they say they want nursing home, and maybe nursing home is not necessarily going to be it for multiple reasons. So again, wanting them to understand, the importance of creating these relationships, with individuals like yourself who are the conduit between family, facility, and obviously the provider. So that's a very, very good point. So Carol, let me point this question to you. Maybe you can just refresh our memories in terms of the types of settings, obviously including home care, that you work with currently.
Okay, basically we do home care as our first need of care. Then there's also independent living, where somebody can move in independently, get their meals provided, their housekeeping activities, and there is an oversight of a nurse in the building on the campus.
Right.
Basically, people I encourage to go there who no longer could food shop, could no longer make their meals, but they're basically active and still want to live the lifestyle that they used to. So independent living has a little support for them and a nurse is there if need be. Next, there's assisted living. Assisted living, basically, when you move in, you pay for room and board. Then after that, any additional expenses are considered levels of care. So the levels of care are paid for based on the care needs that the loved one has. There's also residential homes, which are minimal care, but they oversight all your meals and your medicine management, and there is nurses that come into the community.
Right.
The beauty of a lot of assisted livings is they have a memory care community in the building. So usually it's a separate floor, but this is the easiest way to transition into memory care, because basically you still are living physically in the same building, but you've moved to a different floor or section.
Right.
Basically, you could still see the same nurse that you always saw, the same doctor that you always saw. Often some of your old friends continue to visit you in your memory care community, or you in turn are allowed to go visit them with the support of staff. So that's memory care for you. A lot of communities have different levels of memory care.
Right.
It's nice also, beginning, moderate, and advanced.
Right. And really, once they've exhausted those levels of care, is again when they will reach out to our home care owners and say, hey, we can no longer support the needs of this resident. We're going to have to outsource that care and call us.
Right. And basically, I do have a lot of memory care people that have 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours lunchtime, and 2 hours at the end of the day for the additional support and to help the staff out so that they could still remain at the community.
Perfect. And that's an area that I'd actually just spoken to one of our members recently, consider cluster care. So I'm glad that you said that, because, now it's actually affirming that I know what I'm talking about.
We love cluster care. We think it's fabulous.
And fabulous, best thing in the world, right? So here's a question for you ladies, is that, for all of our owners online right now and listening in, or who will listen to the recording of this at a later date, is that what is it you expect from me? How do I collaborate with you? What are you looking for? And again, you and I, we met years and years ago, through a referral to connect, and we connected, and we've been connected ever since, whether it be through my home care, whether it be through my group home. But what is it that you look for in an agency that is going to say, yes, I want to send over a referral?
Great question, Yvette. So I think communication, especially in this senior living arena, is key. So a lot of times, you're under the gun. You cannot control what happens in every situation. I'm sure you all will see that. Sometimes there are caregivers who may not show up, best laid plans. But as long as your communication is spot on and you keep us in the loop, like Mary Jo or whoever it may be didn't show up or now has to go on leave, we're going to send a replacement, and we know what's going on, that is fantastic. But for, just so we know, so we can follow up with the family if they're going to be upset. But also a lot of times, especially for the home care companies that I do a lot of business with, and I send a lot of referrals that I truly trust, I will be texting with them late at night. My husband says, are you texting with XYZ? And they know their caregivers. They are not sending a caregiver who has no experience with advanced dementia, somebody who doesn't have experience. So they're honest and they're not going to set someone up. We want to set everybody up to succeed. So then I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to tell you, hey, I have this client who has a Hoyer. Send people and be honest. And that's really goes back to communication. Because I'm not putting it up to you. I'm not going to, also when you're talking to referral agencies, just ask them, please, don't send me somebody, like, I don't want to compete with 5 home care people. Don't do that to your families. I try not to do it to our families. I'll ask them, do you want 1 or 2? But I also try to get, hey, Gladys has a background of, 3 years, or, she's worked with 8 different families who have experience with hospice or end of life, whatever it may be. The more details they can give you, the better. So, where I have a male live-in that's so rare to find, or a drive-in.
Absolutely.
They can give me, I can then, or what they're doing for COVID protocols. So whatever information you can give me, even just text the referral agency and tell them, hey, they just came off a case. I'd love to, do you have anybody? So then the family I'm talking to, I can say, wait, I know who this is, and connect them immediately to get it going.
Absolutely. And I know, and I can most definitely say that, in working with the two of you, sometimes, we've been on, texting late at night, when I've either given you guys a referral or vice versa. Someone may be coming in that you may want to position into the group home. But you're absolutely right. The communication is absolutely key, and be honest. If you don't have anyone that drives or that can handle a Hoyer lift, say so. It is absolutely okay. We're working in an industry that moves so quickly, that these things are going to happen, but be honest. So I have a question. One of our viewers, what do you consider when you're giving a referral for home care?
Okay, great. So there's a couple of things, depending on, location, hours. There are some agencies that I know all, basically when I meet or talk to any agencies, I usually have my slew of questions.
minimum hours.
Hours, whatever, you know, location.
Your
But
rights allowed to drive around the resident in
right.
their car.
So
their own car.
aside for the, you know, kind of vanilla questions that we ask, a lot of times I'll also go through and ask, so do you have any cases that are in any counties of caregivers who want to add more hours? So then I'll know, hi, somebody in Monmouth County, New Jersey, wants more hours. You know, can you add in 2 more hours? You know, sometimes I'll have to then mass email around that. But
right.
Yeah, but what agencies want to take on more skilled cares? It depends. You know, price.
And you need to have a vast different array of agencies that have different specialties, can, you know, address and meet your needs, because not everyone can do it all, you know. So you do have to have that bundle of agencies that you can work with. So here's a question for Carol, as the wiser one out of all of us. In terms of, you know, working with the agencies, what advice would you give to our owners right now in terms of, you know, creating relationships and collaborating with, you know, senior advisors such as yourself? What advice would you give? You know, because we've seen a lot of good agencies, we see a lot of bad agencies. What is that advice that you're going to give our viewers right now?
Please be upfront with me and honest. Please tell me right away that what you can do and what you can't do, so I don't make my family wait. They're in need of care ASAP. Tell me right out I can't do a 2-hour shift. Tell me right out that I don't have any aides that'll travel to that area. If you tell me right out, I will call you next time. If you make me wait a day or two for your answer, like, please just say no, or let me pass on it, or please try to find somebody else. This isn't something that I could come up with quickly. My families are waiting. Half the time the adult children are living with their parents, or a spouse is overwhelmed by caring for their loved ones alone. Be honest so I could get the help in place as soon as I possibly can, if they're honest with me.
Well, that, I think, you know, really wrapped it up, Carol. And again, that was very sincere. That was very authentic. You know, it was great. And there's a question that just came up, is that, you know, do you pose any penalties for last minute, you know, not necessarily call outs, but, you know, if somebody like in the last minute says that, oh, yes, I can staff for you, but now I can't, you know, do you impose any kind of penalties for those types of situations?
We don't, but then we're less likely to call that agency again.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if you come through for us, we are sincere, we are loyal, we will, you know, call you all the time. It's, you know, just be sincere and honest with us, please. That's all we could ask.
Well, Dina and Carol, I thank you so, so very much. As always, you guys, this is mom and daughter duo. They've been riding together for years and years and years, and you see one, you're going to see the other, and sometimes you see the other, but you see this one. So they've been riding together. So I so appreciate you guys. You always come through for me. And as always, you know, in everything that you do for the seniors and their families, I thank you. And again, on behalf of all of our members in the group that are going to watch this, and giving them just an insight into, you know, senior advising and senior options, I thank you so very, very much. We'll get back online soon. We will be posting today all of your information. We do have people right there in New Jersey also, for, you know, for collaboration maybe, or, you know, just point of reference. So we'll most definitely make sure that all of our owners and our viewers are getting your information. So again, I thank you, and we will be in touch again soon, I'm sure. Thank you, guys.
Good luck, everyone.
Thank you.